Welcome, Savitri. It's great having you join us today. Today's our last program pre-COVID, and we are at the point now where we after today it will be church except Sunday morning. We will have a live feed for the service for the 9 o'clock service. You could share it with your friends, and you could also play it back on YouTube. So we just holding on a little bit for some folks to join in so that they could be part of this interesting session we are having for marriage tips, successful tips for husband and wife. I want to continue with from last week. Welcome, Radical, Vesta, LaShawn. We do welcome you all. Ariella, Savitri will keep praying for you all, praying for you. We thank God for His faithfulness. And so again, this is our last program. It's so sad that we wouldn't be on in the morning again or the afternoon, and so but we want to thank Claudia, welcome. We want to thank in advance those who will be logging on just now, but we want to thank every one of you for making this program a success, in terms that if we didn't have people that we were reaching, then the message wasn't going to go forward. But what we have been sharing, I know it would be a blessing to you and your family, and today on marriage. So I want to begin by looking at last Friday. I shared on some things that we need to do back in our life, not taking our partner for granted. We talk about forgetting that a good marriage takes work, so putting a lot of work into your marriage, not talking through conflict, looking to not burying it below the bridge, but bringing it up. Failing to romance your partner was another one. Fighting dirty in the relationship that affect psychologically, physically, emotionally, you and your family and your children. Number 7 was letting the passion fizzle. The excitement that you had when you now marry, don't let that excitement go away. Another area we talk about is shutting down sexually when you're angry rather than dealing with the issue. Sexual blackmail. Number 9, failing to understand the marriage have ups and downs, a reality which you have to prepare for. And number 10 was throwing the towel too easily. Well, today Pastor Radical Rodi is going to be here, and we're sharing something, so she's going to read something before we start. Go ahead, Rodi.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I find Kid's voice sounding kind of boring. He's talking,
Monotone.
Yes, he's talking
Not
about,
excited.
he's talking about love, and I'm not feeling that excitement.
Oh.
When you talk about love, you're supposed to be excited. You're supposed to be blushing. You're supposed to have some element of joy, and you was talking like if you love starved.
No, I'm not love stuff. It's just, church has to open Sunday, and there's so much logistical things and meetings that I have and things to put in place. It takes a lot.
Mine not here.
I'm here, but I'm all over the place.
Okay, good morning again. I just want to read something for us this morning on love. In our culture, the word love is thrown around so freely, and then the process loses its weight. We say things like, I love that restaurant, or I love that actor, or I love him, or I fell in love immediately. It was love at first sight. I love that car or house. Love, it seems, has become a constant, so casual and it's taken lightly. Like how Keith was talking about love just now. The way we use the word love, it suggests that love is temporary. Because when the next new thing or person comes around, we can forget the old and be in a new relationship. Unfortunately, this is the world. But if you have been searching out a relationship with God and the family of God, you will understand that love is so much more than which is presented to us by our culture of the day. In the Hebrew language, the word for love is ahava, and it is very beautiful in meaning. And when you say love, you're supposed to have that expression of love. The root word for ahava is ahav, and it means to give. So it is understood as I give and I love. Love is therefore more than a feeling. It is an action word as well, and it is accompanied with giving. Love is given. Not only is love given, but the actual process of giving develops a very connection between the giver and the receiver. I find the truth embedded in this statement to be revolutionary, because we live in a world where technology, while it has excellent benefits, also has the power to work against us. We have found ourselves caught in the World Wide Web with so many connections, yet we are still so disconnected from human touch and face-to-face conversations. While we enjoy hundreds of friendships on social media, we do not understand those people, and we must go with what they show us on their profiles. We have watered down our relationship to text communications only because face-to-face meeting will only draw down on our time, and it will mean we must be involved and give some of our time and attention away. Giving is a condition that creates and sustains love. I'm going to say it again. Giving is a condition that creates and sustains love. Without giving, there is no connection that is sustaining. And true relationships that are meaningful in our lives are those in which mutual giving takes place. That means the husband has to do some giving and the wife has to do some giving. I'll type that statement after for us to remember. From this statement, we can see that no relationship will ever be sustained unless we will give and keep on giving to the people we are involved with. Ahava is a love by which God lives and exists. It is a love that cannot be earned, and it is a love that keeps on giving. In the Old Testament, time and time again, God showed his people that he loved them unconditionally, and he asked that they show that love to others. Perhaps you are in a relationship today on rocky ground. I want to encourage you to start the change in your relationship by asking yourself, how can I have this person in my life today? What can I give to them? Let us declare today that I will practice giving to the people in my life. I'll practice not just receiving, but giving to my spouse. So I'm going to read that statement again, and I am going to copy it for you. Giving is a condition that creates and sustains love. Without giving, there is no connection that is sustaining. And true relationships that are meaningful in our lives are those in which mutual giving takes place. So I want to encourage you, you know, so many times it's comfortable for us to just receive. We enjoy just receiving. But think for a moment, you know, sometimes we look at marriage and we look at relationship and we take it today for granted. But, you know, when you look at your spouse and you look at your relationship and you look at your marriage and you realize I'm in it forever. And, you know, don't just take tomorrow for granted. I heard someone said that today is a gift. Why is it a gift? Because it's present. Present, and a present is a gift. So I want to encourage you that today is a gift from God to you. And, just like God gives us today, I want to encourage you to think about how can I be a blessing to my spouse. Not just in a tangible gift, but in word, in deed. And this morning, as Keith shared, we're going to share on some
successful tips.
Some tips in marriage. And I hope by now his countenance will change, because you can't be speaking of love and not have that love face. You need to have that little blush in your face. I remember when I now met Keith, and sometimes I'm looking at a little romance movie, and I say, yes, that was me. When you just give a little touch, it seems so electrifying. So if that has gone out of your marriage, I want you to revisit your marriage again. You still need to be electrified by your partner. You still need to have that, that love. That should never ever go away. Whether you are married for 40 years or for 5 years. So you young ones that are watching, I want you to know that that excitement in a marriage should never die. And if it do die, revisit it. I always tell people, write down things on a paper. If you find things are not going the way it should go, write down what are the things that you think need attention and work on those things.
All right, now you said that when you touch or you look, you get electrifying.
Yes.
Yes. And that's a given.
Not a shocking electricity, but
when you touch me, I get a real electricity. She knows that. And when I touch her, she gets real electrified. There's some things like tips for successful marriage. Let's deal with the husband first. I spent a whole program talking about the wives. And I got a comment from one pastor, you need telling us what are our problems and what we need to do. But we didn't hear you say much about the men or the husbands, what they ought to do in this marriage to make it work. And first, tip number one, you need to place your relationship with Christ as a foundation of your marriage. It's so easy to, when you get counsel from the pastor, you stand up by the altar, a three-part covenant, a covenant with you, a covenant with God, each other and God, and the pastor. And so that agreement is placed there. That relationship should always be in terms of not just the foundation, but the continuity of the marriage is built on God. So if you and your spouse don't have a love for God together, a passion for God and a passion for the things of God, that could really hinder the marriage. I always say to these women or young ladies who want to get married to a man, or a guy who wants, let me deal with the guys, who want to get married to a young lady, and she doesn't really have a foundation in Christ, a passion for God, a love for God, that you have, that's a disparity there. So it means that you would start having a spiritual and emotional strain on that relationship because you're yearning for God. So that partner may not want to go to church, don't want to read the Bible, have no excitement about the marriage on a whole. And so that is why me and Rodi today can say we're on the same page for ministry. We may disagree on methods, but the end justify the means at the end of the day. So that is so important. We're 1 Peter 2, second part of verse 6. And he who believes in him will not be disappointed. And so that relationship with God as a foundation and continue building on, there will be no disappointment. Anything to add?
Point number two.
Husband give your
wife a hug and a kiss at least 3 times a day.
At least 3 times a day.
So if you didn't give your husband or your wife a kiss today, you have little emojis.
You can rush to go to work, rush to do everything.
No, but what I'm saying,
and
right?
Forget that.
Right, but if they left already for work, there are those little emojis. Send a little kiss for him or a little kiss for her. I think that will suffice until they come back home. If the co-workers see it, they might, say, oh wow, they're weird. But when they notice how happy you are, they will try it.
Number 3, husbands, before you got married, you had your eyes wide open. After marriage, keep it half open. The main reason is, and Proverbs 4:7, it talks about never walk away from wisdom. She guards your life. She guards your life. Love her. She keep her eyes on you. Throw your arms around her. Believe me, you wouldn't regret it. Never let her go. She'll make your life glorious. So you have to, in looking to work with this, you could find so much time being a critic of the faults and the thing. Rudy ain't young like she used to be, and she may not be healthy as she used to be, but still she is the most beautiful thing ever happened to me, other than being me 3 children. And had it not been for her, I think I would not have been where I am today. So I cannot look for, no, she does have faults, she does have some things.
We both do have a lot of faults.
She killed me with pepper in the food, and we're trying to balance that off, but sometimes you could find so much time harping on the things that you don't like. Close a half eye and think about all the glorious things that you have, and
write down all the positive things of your spouse, every positive thing, and don't dwell on the things that are negative. There'll always be negative things. There will always be things that, as we Trini will say, that will drive you up a wall. But you are married to this person for life. So, build on the strengths and pray about the weaknesses.
And use tact and wisdom for that. Because sometimes, even in the bathroom, I will take my things and I'll put it on Rudy's side, and she don't like that. She like it on her side.
Yes, and I don't like him to use my towel. And sometimes people don't understand, well, why you don't want him to use your towel. When Keith uses a towel, you can wring it out after. It is soaked. So I like my towel, when I'm ready to use it, it must be dry and nice.
When you walk in the house, take your shoes and put it on the rack.
Yes. Little things like that. It might seem so unimportant,
but sometimes you could talk about it.
Cause irritation.
Yeah. So I do have these minor things. Keep a note on it, but where you could help each other and not be so critical. Number 5, when your wife is doing some chores around the house, like laundry, and other things, stop her and say thank you for your hard work.
You missed out number 4, and I like number 4. Without being asked to do so, surprise your wife or your husband by making him or her a special snack or lunch and deliver
Suppose
it.
I was trying to help
avoid that one.
Somebody's husbands, save them from some trouble. But I like yesterday morning.
But this is a very good gesture. To surprise your spouse with a snack or something like that.
I'll be talking about the husband perspective. It was the holiday, and she was sleeping in. It's a holiday. I got up and I did a sandwich for her, and I left it. And I said to Diane, I made a sandwich for her. Last night I went in.
By the time I got up, it was so cold and the roti was so hard. I was like, oh my gosh, she did try to do something nice. And I did heat it up and eat it. So I did not complain and say, Key, that roti was cold and hard. I just heated it up and I ate it. So, look at the positive in it. It doesn't make what the person did any better to say, well, wow, that was the best roti I ever eaten in my life. No, it was cold and hard. Yeah. And it was too buttery and too cheesy.
I got up and I took my time.
I appreciate it.
And I bailed that roti and I cooked it and I made sure it swelled.
Right, I appreciated it.
And then last night she was in the TV room and I went and I said to her, what do you want? Okay, how you want me to do it? And I did the sunny side up for her. And so all didn't come out so great.
Yes, the egg was perfect.
All didn't come out great. But the two that was less perfect, when I told you in the plate to take the two that you like. I thought you was going to take the other two, but you took the two that was most perfect that I was eyeing. And so when I was eating mine, it was running, you know, and I don't like that.
I like the runny egg.
But say what, you give up some things
But the point is...
Happy wife, happy life.
Yes, the point is that we are trying to establish is to do something for your spouse to make your spouse happy. And always remember that you are in this journey together. It's only one chance we have at this journey.
Because we are addressing husbands today.
Yeah.
Wives always do this, so they are not talk about making us. They do that all the time. And the thing about chores, you know, whether Diane and me and Rudy alone home, I take it my duty to come and not let Rudy or even Diane, our daughter, do all the work. I will come and wash the wares. I will sweep the kitchen. I will do certain tidying up. She take the clothes from the line. I'll bring it in and I'll carry it up. So there are things you could do for your wife to really take the weight off from her, so she wouldn't be overburdened and think that the marriage she has to do all those work. You know, knowing that she's stronger than you in so many ways, multitasking. At the same time, we are limited. I can do probably two things at the same time. You ask me to think or do two or three for the most.
I think that's the difference between a man and a woman. A man could do probably one or two things. A woman can do several things.
Clothes going on, cook
at the
food
same
in.
time.
It's happening.
Cook, clean, wash, and listen.
You know, in Proverbs chapter 31:27, it says, "Her children respect and bless her. Her husband joins in with words of praise. Many women have done wrongful things."
Wonderful things.
Wonderful things, but you will be outclassed. You've outclassed them all. Number 6, if you ever raise your voice in the heat of an argument, you must apologize for your lack of self-control and insensitivity. And that is something, though, you know you do something wrong, you quarrel, you always apologize. Don't try to, some men try to fight a point and say, I was right. You know, you could, in a marriage, husbands will try to be always right now.
And shouting traumatizes whether the husband or the wife, vice versa. Because some women can be traumatizing also. But, you know, don't lift that voice to be so traumatizing. And as Keith said, say sorry. It goes a long way.
I don't like listening to any woman with a loud voice. And so even if Diane's talking a little loud to me, I say, Diane, slow down, talk softer. And sometimes she wants to get a point across.
Proverbs 16:24 says, pleasant words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. I love that. Sweet to the soul and healing to the bones.
And we said this before, every day pay a compliment to your wife for something she does rather than focusing on the attention of her faults. But we want to give a script here for
Kate, before you continue on that point, something came to me when you was talking about the one of correction or something like that. Something you mentioned a while ago. And I remember my dad will always say to my mom, I am from a family of 12. My mother had to take care of 12 children every day. To me, that's a huge task. And as soon as my dad come home, she will have so much complaints about who did what and who didn't do what. And my dad would say to her, make sure and let me eat first. When I'm finished eating, then I could listen to anything. And that's a good principle, wives. When your husband come home, or even when your wife come home.
Don't complain about each other one time.
Because both partners are working.
Each not working.
Don't, wait for a time. Not during the news, not while you're eating dinner, not when you go to bed. Choose a time in between there to give all your complaints, because there are going to be difficult times in a family, and you need to talk about it. Because it's one thing when the mother addresses a situation, but when the father puts his foot down, it means business. So the father has to take up that role and has to listen to the complaints and give instruction.
You know, looking at responsibility in the home, it differs in every home. In some home I know where the wives love to cut grass. I know this lady, every time he says she just enjoy pushing that lawnmower and cutting that grass and cleaning the yard. And so one has to understand, like for me, I really have been ironing for me for 25 years, right? And after 25 years, I said that was enough. So I do all my ironing of my clothes. I do all my packing of my clothes in my drawer. I even iron her clothes for her when she need it. If she need me iron it, I will iron mine and iron hers for her. So that role and responsibility, it goes a long way. I know you husbands don't like to hear this. You like to know when you come home, you're like a couch potato, sit down there. One person said they call it a couch potato. A wife call her husband a couch potato. Sit down there, and all you want is with the remote control, flicking channel. And I could get a drink, I could make a sandwich for me. And he said I went and do a hard day work. But she was also cleaning the house.
But that, I think that happened long ago when the husband alone went outside and worked.
Yeah.
But besides the work of the woman in the house, now both parties work.
Have to do it.
So you can't just be ordering each. I think it takes so much more love for a family to grow now than ever before. Because with the woman working in the house and the man working, you tend to want to say, I can't stick it out with you, you are so demanding, I am leaving because I can go on rent and I can have a happy life. And I want to encourage you, if you've got married, if you are married, don't give up on marriage, don't give up on enjoying your life together, but work to do things to better your marriage.
You know, and sometimes it's so good, I mean, when the husband go to work and the wife stay home, or both husband and wife go to work, they work with different people. And sometimes you find yourself appreciating your co-worker more than your spouse, because that person is side by side, you doing things. And sometimes, I like it, sometimes if I'm fixing a little equipment at the outside the washing machine or doing some repair, Roddy will come, sit down for about 10 minutes, go back and come back. But she sits there, give me what you call a 1 cent suggestion, you know.
A little moral support.
But more moral support, but it helps bonding, it helps each party valuing the, like one time I just, I got a shock, she say, you all right? Sure you wouldn't die, you know. And so,
and you know, the Bible knows that we are going to be faced with temptation. It says in Mark 14:38, keep, watch and pray, so that you will not give in to temptation. For the spirit is willing, but the body is weak.
So that is why you need to guard. That's one of the points, watch out for temptation. In fact, for the one where you're helping your partner, the Bible said in Ecclesiastes 4:9, 2 people are better than off than one, for they can help each other succeed. So guard against the temptation. Hence the reason why everywhere I go, Roddy goes. So there's some men, when they go out, you would never know that they're married. They act so single. And so you need to guard against that. All right? And anything again, Roddy? This last one, the importance for the husband to listen to his wife as he gazes into her eyes. So it means that number 10 for the husband.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so it's so important that when you do talking to, really have this, when I'm talking to you, look, listen, look.
I know, you know, Charlotte, your wives could attest to this. You're speaking to your husband and he's answering you. And he's answering, and you know he's not listening. You know his mind is elsewhere. And then I will probably say something. He'd say, yes, Roddy, I'm listening. But I know he's not listening intently. So I say, kid, now, watch me. When I know you watch me, I know you take your attention away from what you're doing, and you're listening now.
Proverbs 4:25, it says, let your eyes look straight ahead, fix and gaze directly before you. Take tips now for successful for the wives for successful marriage. All right, you want to take up there already?
Number one, in the face of many disappointments, your husband may bring you your way each week. Always choose to think the best. In the face of the many disappointments, your husband may bring your way each week. Always choose to think the best. For Proverbs 4:23 says, guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. So as I said, marriage is going to have disappointments. It's going to have times of discouragement. It's going to be, you have times when you're going to be getting mad with each other. We are simply human. And not everything we do and say we will agree with it 100%. I probably will get angry with Keith maybe every single day for some little silly thing, but we do not harbor that anger, or we don't build on that anger, that anger. You know, we deal with it, and that's what I'm trying to say to you this morning. Deal with the situations that you doesn't agree with, because there are always going to be disagreements. You know, Keith said that a simple thing like the pepper in the food. You know, sometimes to you might say, well, put less pepper in the food. But what happens is sometimes I'll put the pepper in the food and Keith will eat it and he will say he enjoy it. And then I'll put a little more and then he wouldn't say anything. And then by the time I realized that I put way too much in it. And he wouldn't come and say, Rodi, honey, I love you. It's too much pepper. He would be like, Rodi, you are going to kill me. It has way too much pepper in it. But you deal with those disagreements and you don't allow it to destroy your relationship. Let the wife make the husband glad to come home, and let him make her sorry to see him leave. And there are so many things that you can do to make your marriage or your home a comfortable place. And you know, you think about the book of Esther, and you think about, you know, what Esther had to do to go before the king. And that's how a wife perspective must be. Making herself beautiful, making herself, you know, in want for her husband. You know, the Bible talks about the different things that Esther did to prepare herself. And if I have to advise, I would say to you, do the same thing. You know, do the same thing like Esther did. Have yourself, you know, those things are so affordable now in Bed Bath and Beyond.
We do have that.
No, there are a lot of other places that we have that you have those lovely scents that when you have a shower and you put it on, that speaks to you and it speaks to your spouse. So let the wife make the husband glad to come home.
They said, they all commented here so true. And I'm sorry, get it when you ask them about what you say.
When you ask them what you say,
all right,
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's probably, let the wife, right, Ephesians 5:33 says, so again I say, each man must love his wife as he loves himself, and the wife must respect her husband. Anything you want to add? Wives, if you are ever hurt by your husband, remember your forgiveness and love will set him free. And that is the same point I was trying to make also just now. Don't harbor these things.
But you know, Rodi, as you talk on that, a woman don't shove off or get rid of these type of things so easily, emotionally, physically. A man quickly, you say sorry and he move on, you know. So
not
the husband have to
men,
understand.
But not all men, Keith. Like you, it's easy for you to say, well, I'm sorry, and you move on. I think you are one in a few that as soon as you vent what you want to vent, you move on. But not all men are like that. Remember, like I, for instance, I like to vent a little bit. I like to hold on to my pain a little bit.
Drama.
Yeah, I like that drama. You get me vexed. and I'm going to speak to you for a little while, and let me deal with that. And some men are also like that. But you know, if even you have those emotional parts, you know, that's how we made up. That's how God made us, is that we
I tried to say to you guys, you understand?
Yeah, we are all made up differently. But even though you are made up differently, don't let the sun go down on your wrath. That means not that, you know, not that the sun will go down on your wrath, but deal with it as soon as you can. Don't just push it in the closet. Don't cover it down. Don't bury it. Whatever situation, it will not go away. You need to talk to it, and because it will fester and build up in you.
You know, something about a relationship that shows a lot of contention, animosity, anger, and bad habits is your children pick it up. And most of the times, the daughter will end up being like the mother, or the father will end up being like, the sons will end up being like the father. And they will be sometimes worse than the home that it came out of. We always try to allow our children to see us who we are, and they must have a good image of what a marriage is like, and not wanting to get married. Okay, we're going to
Number 5, make a solemn promise with your husband that before bed every night you will hug, look each other in the eye, and say, I love you, and kiss them.
I'm sorry for something.
This means you each say sorry for something first. And you know, like sometimes, because life demands so much from people, because you know, everything is so fast going, sometimes you're so tired by the time you go to bed. But you know, try your best as often as you can to go to bed together. And you know, love on each other. And I'm not talking about just sex, but I'm talking about just being in that intimate, comfortable zone with each other. Just relax. You know, I'm not just talking about watching TV, but sitting down and enjoying each other's company. You know, just relaxing with each other.
You know, there's a new concept which I totally don't fully agree. They have it what I call you man cave. The man cave is where you guy have his big screen TV, all his fridges, snacks, and he will go in there and have his own life and enjoy, and maybe bring one of the friends and have fun there. I mean, male friends. And that man cave term could be bad too. Because if Rhoda's downstairs and she say, Keita going up here, I could be continue to watch TV or read downstairs. But I will immediately, after 5 minutes, just get up and go and join upstairs. She do what she do and I do what I do. But we there with each other and for each other. If in your marriage, you cannot stand being with your partner all the time, think again, work on the things that cause in that area friction. What will your
number 6. When you are lying in bed before sleep, when you are laying in bed before sleep, take your spouse's hand and pray out loud together. James 5:13 NB says, are any of you suffering hardship? You should pray. Are any of you happy? You should sing praise. And this is a good principle for us as Christians, to pray for each other.
Well, I trust that you would have been blessed with our live stream program. It will be, you could go back and look at it, you could share it with somebody. It will also be on YouTube. I trust that you have been blessed. You all have been blessed, Rudy.
I just want to read back this one statement that I said before. Given is a condition that creates and sustains love. Without giving, there is no connection that is sustaining. And true relationships that are meaningful in our lives are those which mutual giving takes place. I want you to remember that. Give and receive. Always be mindful that your marriage is an investment. The more time and effort you put into it, that's how much more you will get out of it. You know, you invest in your friends, you invest in different things. Invest in your relationship with your husband or your wife. Spend quality time with them. I want to leave us with this one scripture. Deuteronomy 10, 12 to 13. And now, Israel, what does the Lord your God require of you? But to fear the Lord your God, to walk in all his ways and to love him, to serve the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and to keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command you today for your good. When you love God and you follow the things of God, every area of your life will be blessed.
I want to say this: Redemption Worship Center is a church that marriage and relationship and family is high in our priority. You know, you go to some ministries and the pastor is more interested in the individual and the gifts and the talent and what the person have to offer the church, whether it be talent-wise, finances-wise, as an individual. But we don't look at it as a first option. We look at you as a family. When we don't see others party in church, we ask these questions: how they're going, where they are. We want to know how your children is doing. Your marriage, your family, your home, and your children success is the primary responsibility of the pastors and the leaders of Redemption Worship Center. And so I want you to know, if your church has a healthy family, a healthy marriage, it's going to be a strong church. Not only that, you will leave what you call a church with a rich heritage, a healthy generational future, a good legacy, and a good inheritance. And so I want to say this, that we are there as a church to be a blessing. Remember that our service is now every Sunday. We have a 7 o'clock, a 9 o'clock, and 11 o'clock service. Thursday at 7 p.m. The 9 o'clock service, for a short period of time, will be live streamed because I know some people, because the elderly wouldn't be able to come. But let me just say this: live stream service or your home church is no substitute for the corporate church that God mandated in his word. I pray, Father, in the name of Jesus, that you will touch every home, every family, Lord, every marriage, God, that you will have strong marriages in these perplexed times and these trying times when families are coming under the attack, the lack of finances and the stress of losing their jobs and some losing their loved ones, health challenges, Lord, that is a crisis. I pray that you will fortify the marriages, fortify the family and the homes, and may you bless every individual. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Well, it was a joy for both of us coming to you and sharing. May God bless you. Do have a good day. And if you're a visitor and you want to come to Redemption Worship Center, come say hello to us, and welcome back this Sunday to all our members and followers. We fully sanitize. We do have all the protocols in place. We have parking. We have, don't worry about space. We do have overflows, place for the overflow. So God bless you and have a good day. Bye.